Welcome back to the Fantasy Price Check. Today we're talking about Mark Andrews. Just to let you know what we're doing here on the channel, we are just taking a look at player ADPs and we are grading them based upon whether a player is overpriced, underpriced, or fairly priced. Mark Andrews is currently being drafted in the middle of the 5th round, and what I want to start off and do is just take a landscape of the tight end position in fantasy football. In round 2, you'll see Travis Kelce and George Kittle go off the board, and then later in round 4, you'll see Zach Ertz go off the board. Mark Andrews is currently the tight end 4 coming off the board in the 5th round, and I think that is the right price for him to go in. You could actually have a debate on whether Zach Ertz or Mark Andrews should be the 3rd tight end off the board. In standard leagues, I think that Mark Andrews definitely deserves merit as a 3rd tight end off the board, seeing that he scored 10 touchdowns last year. Whereas in PPR leagues, I think that Zach Ertz is a player to go because he gets so many more targets than Mark Andrews. After Mark Andrews, there's a whole tier of tight ends going off the board in round 6. You'll see Evan Engram, Darren Waller, Hunter Henry, and Austin Hooper all go off in round 6. It gets pretty bleak at the tight end position after round 6. If I don't get a tight end by round 6, I'm just going to punt the position and take a guy like Mike Gesicki in round 11. Mark Andrews broke out last year. He was drafted as a tight end 15 and finished as a tight end 2 last year. He was the tight end 2 right behind Travis Kelce, and on a points per game basis, he was right behind Travis Kelce and George Kittle. Last year, Mark Andrews had 98 targets for 64 receptions, 852 yards, and 10 touchdowns. That ranked 1st in touchdowns, 5th in targets, and 5th in receiving yards. You probably think of Mark Andrews as a big tight end that just gets it done with short and intermediate routes. However, the Ravens like to use him down the field. Among tight ends, he had the highest yards per reception and had the most receptions over 20 yards among all tight ends. An interesting fact, if you don't know much about Mark Andrews, but he was Baker Mayfield's tight end while they were at Oklahoma. And him and Lamar Jackson were drafted in the same draft class. And that was after the Ravens' first pick in Hayden Hurst, who's now been traded to the Atlanta Falcons. All the targets that were vacated by Hayden Hurst should go to Mark Andrews. Nobody in the league passed more to the tight end than the Ravens last year. The average NFL team passes to the tight end 15 to 25% of the time. The Ravens were at the top of the league, passing to the tight end 45% of the time. It's also worth mentioning that Mark Andrews had a lingering foot injury throughout the entire year, so he should be even more productive this year if he remains fully healthy. Do yourself a favor and look back at some of Mark Andrews' highlights from college while he was at Oklahoma. The guy was absolutely unbelievable. Round 5 is the right price for Mark Andrews. I'm not completely sold on the tier 6 guys, and I generally don't like paying up for a tight end, but I think that Mark Andrews gives you the best bang for your buck. He's giving you top 3 upside without the top 3 price. I think Mark Andrews is fairly priced. Like I said, Mark Andrews is my guy. If I don't get him in the 5th round, I'm just going to completely punt the position and take a guy like Mike Gesicki in round 11. Guys, if you like what we're doing here on the channel, please like this video. If you want more price checks in the future, please click subscribe. And if you want to tell me what you think of Mark Andrews, please comment below. I'll see you on the next one.